Welcome to today's experiment. So the title of the experiment is Hall effect, and the aim of the experiment is to determine the Hall voltage VH and Hall coefficient RH. So the apparatus required for this experiment is, first one is Gauss meter, where we have Gauss probe connected to this Gauss meter. So the use of this Gauss probe is to determine the magnetic field strength that is developed in between these two electromagnets. Second one is constant power supply, also called as Hall effect setup. So this setup is used to measure the Hall voltage by using this voltmeter, and current should be passed through the sample by adjusting this meter. So this device is only to adjust the current passing through the sample, and the current, whatever the current that we select through the sample, is always fixed for the entire experiment. And the next device that we require is the Hall probe. So Hall probe is coming out from this Hall effect setup. In this Hall probe, we have a semiconductor sample having a thickness T and width W. So this is the semiconductor sample which is fixed in between the four probes. So this is the semiconductor sample. Now the entire experiment lies in the Hall effect will be determined like when a current is passed through this sample, and when it is placed in a magnetic field strength, a Hall voltage VH will be developed. So current through the sample is fixed by this meter, and let us say, for example, if I fix for 2 milliamps, it is fixed for the entire experiment. And now when the 2 milliamps of current passing through the sample is placed in this electromagnet having a magnetic field strength which can be measured through the Gauss meter, a Hall voltage will be developed, and this Hall voltage will be read through this voltmeter. And the last one is power supply for an electromagnet. So this is used to pass the current through this electromagnet, and this is always measured in amps. Remember that nowhere we are measuring the current passing through the electromagnets. The purpose is only to create the electromagnetic field. So we are not noting how much of current is passed through the electromagnets, but we are interested in how much of magnetic field strength is developed by passing this current in between the electromagnets. Now the amount of the magnetic field strength that is developed is measured by using this Gauss probe, which is coming from the Gauss meter. So when I place this Gauss probe in between these two electromagnets, I can read the magnetic field strength that is developed. Now when I switch on the circuit, see here I am switching on. The first adjustment is you have to set this meter to 0. So here it is written as set 0. So by varying this knob, exactly it shows 0 0 deflection. Second thing is switch on this power. Now select the amount of current that is passing through the Hall probe. Since we have a range of 0 to 20 milliamps, let us set for 2 milliamps first. So 2 milliamps by varying this knob. So 2 milliamps of current is passing through the sample right now. Now I need to place this sample in the electromagnet. So to create the magnetic field, I am passing the current which is given from the constant power supply. Now switch on this constant power supply so that you pass this current so that the Gauss meter reads like 100, 200 Gauss, 300 Gauss, 400 Gauss, like that. So here in this there are three parameters. As I repeat again, we have H, we have I, and every time we need to measure the Hall voltage. So for this experiment, I am keeping the current passing through the sample as fixed, and it is let it be 2 milliamps. Every time I am varying the magnetic field strength H by varying the constant power supply, and each variation I am measuring the Hall voltage by this meter. So now place this Gauss probe in between these two electromagnets. Before placing it, you need to adjust the distance between the two poles by varying this, so that this probe will be easily removed and inserted. So now when I place this Gauss probe in between these two electromagnets, sometime if I reverse it, I may get a negative direction over here. See here, if I place the Gauss probe, I am getting the negative value in this Gauss meter. So then you need to just reverse the Gauss probe and place like this, so that you hold it properly, and adjust this constant power supply by inserting the probe in between these two electromagnets. Adjust the constant power supply, so that the gas meter reading is 0.2. So 0.2. So now if you see that it is 0.2, so nearer value it is 0.2. So since we have selected for 2K range, now the magnetic field strength that is developed in between these two poles is 200 Gauss. So now you can write in the tabulations like the magnetic field strength is 200 Gauss. Serial number 1, 200 Gauss, and the current passing through the sample that we selected is 2 milliamps. So now if I repeat the definition, we can say that 2 milliamps of current passing through the sample is placed in 200 Gauss of magnetic field strength, so that the amount of voltage that is developed in this Hall effect can be measured by using this voltmeter. So now what is the voltage that is developed? Hall voltage is around 2.4 volts. So now we can read it as 2.4 volts. If I repeat it for the experiment, I can say that when 2 milliamps of current passing through this semiconductor sample is placed in 200 Gauss of magnetic field strength, the Hall voltage that was developed is around 2.4 millivolts. Similarly, the next readings can be taken as every time we need to change this Hall probe and the Gauss probe. So the second reading can be taken as, if I place the Gauss probe, adjust the current power supply, so that, as I said, now I am getting a negative sign, so you just reverse it. So when I place the Gauss probe, adjust the current power supply so that it reads 0.4. Let us take for the 400 Gauss of magnetic field strength. So place the Gauss probe in between these two electromagnets. Adjust the constant power supply so that you will get the reading of 0.4. So 0.4 means 400 Gauss of magnetic field strength is developed. So since we are passing out the amperes of current, it should be very precisely adjusted to get 0.4. So now we are getting it as 0.4. So now take it as 400 is the magnetic field strength. Here write it as 400. Now when I place the Hall probe in between these two electromagnets, the Hall voltage that is developed is around 12.3. See here, you need to adjust it till you get the maximum reading. So 11.1. Like that you need to take the readings for 200, 400, 600 Gauss. So before taking these readings, only the precaution is you need to set the Gauss meter to 0. Every time you need to place the Gauss probe to measure the magnetic field strength. Nowhere you need to write the amount of current that is passed through the electromagnets. So you need to place the Gauss probe and determine the magnetic field strength through the Gauss meter, and Hall probe to determine the Hall voltage. So we have taken a set of readings and we have done the calculations. I will show you the readings that we have taken. So 200, which was equal to 145.2 millivolts, 300, 147.4, 400 Gauss, 150.5 millivolts, 500 Gauss, 152.8 millivolts. So the formulas to determine the Hall coefficient is, so the first aim of determining the Hall voltage is done in this tabulation itself, and the second aim is to determine the Hall coefficient. So the formula for the Hall coefficient is RH is equal to VH into T by I into H. So VH is nothing but the Hall voltage that we have measured by using the Hall probe. T is the thickness of the sample given by the manufacturer, which is equal to 0.5 mm, and I is the current that is passing through the sample. In this experiment we have fixed for 5 milliamps, and H is the magnetic field strength that is developed, that we have taken to the tabulations. So VH is measured, H is measured, and T is the thickness which is fixed, and I is also fixed for the entire experiment. So every time we are varying the Hall like magnetic field strength, and for every variation we are measuring the Hall voltage. So you can do the calculations either by taking the average of all these H and VH, or by every reading also we can take the calculations. So first one is VH is 145.2. So substitute 1.5 into 2. Since it is in the millivolts, milli is 10 power minus 3 volts, and T is 0.05 centimeters, because Gauss is the MKS unit. So we have to convert this mm into centimeters, and I is the current passing through the sample. As we have taken 5 milliamps, again 5 into 10 power minus 3 amps. So that's why we have taken 5 into 10 power minus 3 into 200. H is the 200 for the first step. So we got Hall coefficient as 7.26 into 10 power minus 3. Similarly, for each and every reading we need to calculate RH. So by averaging all these, we have finally got the Hall coefficient as 4.747 into 10 power minus 3, and the unit is coulomb cube per centimeter cube per coulomb. So this is the unit. Or else if you convert it into 10 power minus 3, then we can also express it as 0.00474 centimeter cube per coulomb. This is the unit of the Hall coefficient. Or else you can take the average of all this magnetic field strength, we get one reading, and the average of all these Hall voltages, we get one reading, and substitute those readings in this formula. That way also it is okay. So this is about the Hall effect. So, and finally we need to write the result as the Hall coefficient is 0.00474 centimeter cube per coulomb. Though the aim of measuring the Hall voltage is done in the tabulation itself, finally we can write it as the Hall coefficient is this. Thank you.